everyone, to another episode of Slasher Scotty. I am your host, Scotty McCoy, and boy, do I have a surprise for you. I have two guests on Zoom right now with me, and they are a part of an indie film titled The Hag Witch, and I'm going to let them introduce themselves this time. This is the first time I've actually done this, but I'll let them introduce themselves so they can let you know a little bit about what they do for the movie. So if you want to introduce yourselves.
My name is Sam Hodge, and I'm the writer and director of the film The Hag Witch coming up. So that's me. And
I'm Johnna Vaughn, and I'm co-director of the film and also the lead actress.
Awesome. Sounds great. So I guess the first question I have is what's the synopsis of the movie? What's it about?
So we follow a young woman who is grieving over the loss of her husband. It's been about 6 months since he passed, and he is played by Andrew Divoff, which is really cool. And the more she grieves, she begins to notice things happening around the house. And her grief essentially feeds this kind of darkness that's acting like her husband. And over time, it evolves into something really, really dark. And we have a very powerful demon that actually seeks to destroy her and her family.
Wow, that sounds really cool. I'm looking forward to this. Before I get really into any of the other questions, I do know that you have an Indiegogo campaign out there. So do you want to let everybody know about the Indiegogo and if there's any perks and how they can, donate if they would like to donate to your campaign?
Well, sure. We have the link all over our Facebook page, The Hag Witch Movie. If you search it, it's The Hag Witch, all separate words, -movie. And we are trying to raise $35,000. We have separate financing, but we would rather not use that.
Right.
What our goal is to be able to be completely crowdfunded and then use that other funding to make the movie twice as good. Mm-hmm. So with that, the money is going towards the cast, which we are bringing various actors from LA and Texas and around the United States to our location. Okay. So that's where the expense is coming from. I mean, paying people like Andrew Divoff and Kathy Podwell. We've got Johnna here, but she's working for free. I'm working for free, but we're paying James Edward Hawley and James Stokes, Cody Alexander, some people that are really making waves in indie filmmaking, and some people who have been in horror legend movies and are themselves horror icons.
Right. Now, are you able to say who any of these icons are, or is that under wraps?
Well, the biggest icon is Andrew Divoff. And you got the Wishmaster in your film. He's playing her husband. Nice. We will have him on set for 3 days, which is amazing to film with somebody who's been in so many big movies. Kathy Podwell from Night of the Demons, Dallas. We recently shot a film with her on, what film was that?
Reunion from Hell, and it was
awesome. Nice.
It's going to be great.
Yeah, which, by the way, Hayden Newman is a fantastic director. I was able to co-direct that movie with Hayden, and she got to star with Kathy in that.
Yes.
Awesome. That's awesome. I heard about Reunion from Hell. I'm actually in the group and friends with Hayden herself, so that's actually exciting.
Well, Hayden just mentioned that he would love to get on your show. So
yes,
that'd be awesome. I would absolutely love to have him on my show. That would be great.
Yes. So we do have another horror legend from a very iconic 70s horror film. I mean, nobody doesn't know this movie. Not yet announced. We're waiting to hit a number mark on our campaign to bring that in. So
awesome. That's great.
That's really cool.
I'm looking forward to that. That'll be great. So how did this project come to be, and what was the inspiration in creating it?
Well, COVID limited us, and we were in a really creepy house at the time, and we were going to do where it was just basically me shooting the whole thing and Johnna acting the whole thing, and then one other actor playing James Edward Hawley playing our father. It was gonna be that. It was still gonna be a feature film, and we've got all the cinema gear and everything we need to make it still look amazing. But we were gonna try and undertake that as just a long, drawn out process. But as things went along, we started kind of thinking about expanding the script and making it more interesting. And then my mother got very ill halfway through the year, and she ended up passing away in July. And
Sorry
some
for your
things,
loss.
I appreciate that. But after she passed, we had some experiences. You know, we visited her gravesite at night, and we had some really bad stuff kind of work its way into our life. So that kind of really showed me how personally, if you believe in this thing, how personally demons know you from the inside out. They know everything about you, and they know exactly what makes you tick. So the script was rewritten with that inspiration. It's not about that specific instance in any way, but it is with that newfound inspiration. I do feel that the script is awfully terrifying.
Yeah,
And
that's exciting. And go ahead.
We just came along with new things as we was going. We kind of worked some things together that was just something we just thought of that was wild and creepy, where we both are horror fans, and it just kept getting bigger and bigger, and he just kept writing more, and kept getting better.
Once we decided to go with it, it just kind of grew.
Yeah,
and then when we met Kathy on the set of Reunion from Hell, we kind of talked. We were like, wouldn't it be amazing if she could play your mom in this? And
because I'm close to her too, so it works really nice that way.
That's awesome.
Yeah, she's really cool.
Awesome. And that's great to get her to be a part of your film, because it's good to have, to do an indie film, but it's even better when you get some stars that are more well known, because that's how you get people to back you on Indiegogo and crowdfunding campaigns, and that's how you get people to want to tune in. It's not that they don't want to see you guys or anybody that is relatively unknown to an extent, but they really do want to see the bigger names that were in the bigger movies. You know what I mean? That's why a lot of these indie films are getting the bigger names to be a part of the show, whether it's Elisa Wilcox or Kathy Podwell, so that, adding her to your cast is gonna be great. And I'm sure a lot of people that will be watching this or listening to it on the audio platforms, they're gonna be excited to know that she's on there, and they might want to even contribute to your crowdfunding campaign. Now, do you have any perks part of your crowdfunding that you want to tell anybody about?
We have tons of perks. From $5 on, you for everything over $5 obviously gets you a credit in the film or as a thank you. But the really cool one is $9. For $9 you get a thank you credit, you get a video shout out, and you get to see the film as soon as I'm done editing it. I will send a direct link to somebody's email with the first cut of the film, the next cut of the film, updated as it goes. They get to see the stuff that other people don't get to see.
That's awesome.
It's a direct link to my Dropbox. So they're going to be seeing the film as I would be sending it to like a close friend, or if I was sending it to a distributor. They're going to be seeing it at the same time.
That's really cool. And how much is that one for again?
$9.
That's not bad at all. And a lot of just for $9, you get to see like you said, the whole movie, and you basically are right in the driver's seat right there. You get to see they're right there watching the filmmaking process happen. That's amazing, and that's very affordable and a good way to support indie horror as well. So
some of the other perks we've got posters that are autographed for anywhere from $25, but there's also cast art. There's art with each cast member. It's kind of like their announcements. You can buy their cast art signed by them. There's various people that are on there. I think they're $35 a piece. But those also come with the streaming copy. Everything above the $9 comes with a streaming copy of the film and a thank you credit. And so it builds as you go every week. And I figured, with a streaming copy of the film, I'm not really losing anything with that. We can just use that as an enticing thing. But you can get a signed copy of the script. You can be in the film. You can be producers. You can come to the pre-party with us at the premiere. You can buy props from the film and prosthetics and clothes.
Yeah, that's so cool. That's really a lot of good stuff for a lot of people and obviously, like, if you can't afford anything, sharing is just as good. because we know COVID is a hard time for some people, and just sharing it is good because that's the word of mouth. That's the old-fashioned word of mouth. You know, you might not be able to donate anything, so you can share it, and when you share it, then somebody on your friends list might be like, you know what, this is a really good concept. I want to support this film, and they'll end up getting a perk out of it. You know, and that's how they can help you as well. So that
Yeah.
so don't be afraid to at least share it if you can't afford any of the perks.
Well, and me
okay.
personally, I also try, when I see an interesting project from another, filmmaker out there, I try to contribute what I can to it, $5-10.
Yeah.
And if they give exactly the same thing back, neither of us have really spent anything, but
Yeah.
it boosts your campaign popularity.
Exactly. And like I said, I'm also an indie filmmaker, you know that. And I will be helping. I'll be helping you with your campaign. I actually get paid tomorrow, I think. So
Oh,
I'll definitely
thank
help.
you.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I'll see what you have there, and I mean, I'll definitely contribute in some way, because I mean, I know from an indie filmmaker, like without funds, there is no movie. And yeah, you can have a separate, account, or you can have money out of your paychecks and everything, but it's not the same, because that way you're actually losing money compared to, getting help from people. And funding is a major part of it, because that can make or break a movie. It can really destroy a film, and a lot of people don't know that. So like, definitely help out as much as you possibly can. Do you see any potential struggles with this project of getting it made?
Well, the location that we are going to be using is a very popular, large 1890s Victorian farmhouse.
Mhm.
Um, so people are staying there, and we have to book it in chunks. Um, but it's beautiful and very isolated, and there's lots of space to be free. So we have to book that in 3-day stint, 5-day stint. Basically, as we have actors, we schedule that place as we go, and we have to kind of spread it out a little bit. But as an indie filmmaker, I'm very used to doing that.
Right. And
Um,
that's all because of COVID. That's why you have to do it that way. Or is that the way they always run it?
well, it's because it's just so popular. I mean, it's hard to
Oh,
book it. Like, you'd have to
okay.
book it like a year in advance to get like your big chunk.
Wow.
And yeah, and so we've already put money into it, and booked our
Nice.
location stuff. COVID is the other challenge, but I think all of us, we've done a lot of filmmaking, haven't we?
Yeah.
During COVID,
Yeah.
and we are pretty well aware of how we need to behave, and
Mhm.
distancing and mask wearing and all that sweaty, uncomfortable stuff. And by then, actually, we really hope to be vaccinated before all this stuff takes place. There's plenty of space where we're at, so I mean that's and we're also keeping a very small crew, and no more than, when it's an inside location, no more than 3 or 4 actors at a time
Yeah.
on a scene. Outdoor scenes are a little different because people can breathe and space out, and
Yeah.
just stuff like that. All the basics that people have to
Yeah.
do.
We
Exactly.
have a location also that will be really cool too.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's an abandoned house on a farm that goats live in. It's being provided to us by one of our producers, and
It's really cool.
That's
it's
awesome.
a voodoo scene is going to be taking place in that house, and goats already live there, chickens, and
Nice.
so it already looks like
It's really
stuff's
neat.
going down there.
Mhm.
That's awesome. So where are you planning on filming at?
West Virginia. We have about 3 locations in West Virginia we're filming at: Hillsborough, West Virginia, Genoa, West Virginia, and Barbersville, West Virginia, and
Okay.
probably some in Huntington, West Virginia, a little bit, but just kind of all over the place. And
Nice.
not a lot of big films get made here, so
Right.
our goal is to get a lot of local people interested in bringing stars from LA and Alabama, Mississippi, Texas,
Mhm.
Tennessee. People coming from
Right.
all over the place.
Absolutely. So do you have a potential release date for the movie, and do you know when are the filming dates?
Knowing how I do things, I take my time to make sure it's quality.
Mm-hmm.
Post production for a full length feature for me takes about 3 months.
Wow. Yeah.
So assuming that we get everything on schedule, we are filming in July and August, maybe running into September,
Okay.
because of the way things are spread out and pick up shots and stuff like that.
Right.
We are looking at trying a May premiere for 2022.
Awesome.
That's the goal, and I'm not one of these people that says, "Oh, I'm going to shoot 3 or 4 feature films this year," and and just squeeze them out like babies. You know, like they should take time. I mean, if you really want to be, when you're putting that kind of talent in the movie, you gotta really make sure it's good.
Exactly, and you could tell when a movie is rushed compared to when it's been given the proper love and dedication to it. You can obviously tell the difference. And I mean, it's not an easy process, a very stressful time, a lot of hard work, you know what I mean? And especially when you don't pay yourself, it's like you're doing it because it's a passion of yours at that point. Like, you know what I mean? It's not one of those things that, you know, you take for granted. And a lot of people think, oh, it's going to be so fun. It's going to be so easy. It's not. And even if you're not the filmmaker and you're just an actor, it's still a job, because you have to memorize your lines. You got to come prepared. You got to know your character and how to get in that role and that mindset. So there's a lot of work that is involved, from on scene to behind the camera to getting it ready in pre-production and getting it finished in post-production. And a lot of people don't realize that.
And the bigger the actors you get, you now have to be legal experts and, you know, get those deal memos correct and start talking to lawyers, and you have to, you know, really work with talent agents and casting agents. And you start spending a lot of time on your phone. Both of us, right?
Yeah.
We'll be out to dinner and just like, hang on, I'm this lawyer, like you're responding and trying to make sure they're happy, trying to make sure you can make them happy without killing yourself financially. So, but I mean, at the same time, when you're doing all that stuff, what you're doing is guaranteeing yourself a higher product, a higher quality. You're guaranteeing, you know, you put the higher work into it, it's going to be a better thing. And with the cast we've got, we have guaranteed distribution following up. So it's not like we're afraid of losing money on this. It's going to make money. We just have to make the climb, get to the top, and then, you know, reap the rewards after the fact. And but I have no doubt in our quality, and I have, you know, it's you know, we're confident in everything.
Absolutely. So was there a specific way you decided to do, how you decided to do casting? Is there a specific way you're like casting the people that aren't as well known to the people that are well known? I mean, you already spoke about, you know, Kathy Podwell,
well, what's funny is, you know, we as indie filmmakers, we know quite a bit of people already. We've been around and we've worked with people. So basically we just kind of picked people that we wanted. You know, that we worked well with in the past. Like Reunion from Hell was really ripe with a lot of good talent. We pulled James Stokes from that and Cody Alexander. I've worked with Dixie Gers before she's coming in. And we work with James Hawley on like a weekly basis. We film a lot of local commercials, but he's an international actor with, like, you know, the Thailand cave rescue movie, The Cave. He was in that. It's pretty big. But he also does a lot of local stuff. So we just know people, and when we start writing a thing out, we kind of are like, who would be good for that? Boom. That's, you know, we know what their range is, and we write the part for them. As I'm writing a script, I think about who I have, and then I write parts for that person. So I'm not putting myself into an unrealistic expectation, forcing someone to do something they can't do.
Exactly. Good point. That's a really good way to, you know, to do things. So let me see. So what is the most rewarding aspect of being an indie filmmaker?
Go for it.
Just everything in general. There's so much, it's hard to say one thing. Just it's fun.
Well, think about how the convention worked this weekend as an indie filmmaker versus being a fan.
Oh, that was totally different. Since COVID, we didn't get to go last year to any because they shut all of them down. We went again this year with Hayden, and we all three caught attention from these actresses and actors that saw who we was now from Reunion from Hell, and then from past things that we've done. And they were talking to us more than we was asking about them, even though we wanted to know all about them. Or even if we've seen them 2 or 3 times, we wanted to still know things. And it was different that they recognized you and was like, oh my gosh, you know, look at you. And then they would be totally different than when you went to meet them before. That was really a whole new world.
Yeah.
It was exciting, and it was great to feel like you was a closer friend to these people than just somebody you go up and just meet them.
Absolutely.
I think that they gain respect for you because they, like, the people that have been there and done that, you know, in a way they appreciate their fans. But I think a lot of times when you see another person who's gone through the same shit, they appreciate it. I mean, because it is difficult And Amelia Kincaid was talking to us about time disappearing on her in Africa when she's sitting there with the elephants. And she said she sat there for 8 hours and didn't realize it. That this dude was like, dude, you're getting eaten up by mosquitoes. And she was like, what? It's dinner time. Like, and the same thing happens with me. So it was like this relatable thing. I'll wake up in the morning and I'll put on maybe boxers and I'll go to the studio and I'll just edit and it'll be dinner time. And then like last night, I was like, okay, it's time to quit working. And I looked at the time, it was 12:30 midnight. I was like, I woke up and went in here and, and that's Reunion from Hell. I got 2 scenes edited yesterday and it's coming along.
Mine was really quick, especially when you're editing or script writing or, doing all that pre-production stuff. It goes really quick. Like when I was doing Samhain with Gravestone Films, and like I can't believe it's, our movie was released in theaters this past October, and I can't believe that like the time went so quick, like just from filming. We were on set for like 3-4 months filming, and there would be times we'd not be done till like, sometimes it would be 3 a.m., sometimes it would be 11 p.m. But there was like 1 or 2 days that we were on set at like 7, 8 in the morning, and we didn't get done until 11 or 12 at night. And it was like an all-day thing, and we would separate it between day shoots, where there would be a lot of them because there's a lot more day than there would be night, and then we do the night shoot, and then we take a break around maybe 4 or 5 o'clock for to go out together at dinner. And some people would go to McDonald's, other people would just go and explore like the just some areas together as a group and just do things that, just as a group and everything. It just went quick, and like it really is a lot of work, as a lot of people don't know, and it's fun. It really is fun. You have to really have a passion for it, because if you don't have a passion to be a filmmaker, you're not gonna want to put in the work for it, because it really is a lot of work. And even script writing is a lot of work, because it's not like you could just think of a plot line and just write random stuff for a character. You got to really think, how is this character going to say this? How is this character going to act? How is this death? How are we going to lead into this death scene, or how are we going to lead into this big reveal? Like, it's not just like, bam, you can add it in just like that. Like, it really is a thought process, a whole process to do it.
Yeah, like getting those scenes, the cutaways that tie scenes together. I mean, how do you tie scenes together is the biggest problem. Sometimes, especially when you're on a really fast shoot. Reunion from Hell was a very fast shoot. It was 10 days. And it's going to be probably over 90 minutes. I'm just guessing. But we were shooting from sometimes 7 a.m. until 3 or 4 in the morning. And it was, by the end of the day, and then you're like, oh my God, I have so many batteries to charge before we get started again at 10 a.m. So like you get home, you get back to the location, you start unloading your stuff, and you're like, charge the batteries. And
after putting a full day of work in 7 a.m. till, like you said, 3, 4 in the morning, and then it's like, oh, I get to go to bed and relax. Wait, no, I have all these batteries to charge. I have to charge the microphone. I have to charge the camera batteries. I have, it's crazy. And sometimes, and it's not as easy as one battery, for the camera, and then a spare battery. It's like sometimes you have one battery for the camera and 4 or 5 different spares that are also needing to be charged.
Yeah, I mean, luckily with the V-mount batteries, it's usually, one battery for the camera, for all day use. I mean, we run Blackmagic cameras, so one of them I use a V-mount battery for the tripod, and then for the gimbal I use the small little Canon batteries for it. And those things run out really fast. So I have 12 of those that I use, and but we have literally chargers scattered all over the floor. And you're like, if you get up in the middle of the night, you step on a battery and break it, you're like, just to go pee. I mean, it's crazy. But to also answer your question about the benefit of filmmaking, and one of the big things that you get to enjoy about it is just this understanding. It's a totally different lifestyle. You live another life. I mean, and it's our job. I mean, we make our money by doing commercials and promos, and our schedule, we don't have a set schedule every day. I mean, we're living our life, and we might work from 4 p.m. to midnight on one day, and then 4 a.m. till whenever the next day, or we have a chunk of a week off. I mean, it's just it's cool like that.
And one of the best parts about being a filmmaker, and it's not even just indie filmmaking, but overall filmmaking, is just seeing the project come to life. It's the movie magic of getting all these different clips, editing them together, and then you have a final project, and you're like, I made that.
And
I
you,
made this.
and you add the music to it, and it becomes like something beautiful.
Yep.
And it's,
Right, exactly.
when you can make yourself cry.
Yep.
I was gonna say that it was different, and it's like special when you do this. Whenever you go to a convention and you're going to actually talk to a star, like we talked to Andrew Divoff, and instead of just going to meet him, you're talking about what you're going to do at the movie that
Right.
you are making, and you're like taking pictures with him that we're going to use. That's a different lifestyle for people making movies. Going
Absolutely.
to actually talk to this star about what we're really going to do in your movie.
Absolutely.
That was totally different.
Well, let me say this about Andrew Divoff too. You can tell he is an absolute professional, and he is an amazing actor. And the thing is, you know, we sent him the script, and he agreed to the script. When we walked up to his table, and he knew who we were, but when we introduced ourselves, he knew we were. He knew the specific scenes in the film already. He already knew that from reading the script. He was talking about specific stuff, how to do it, how are we going to shoot that. And I was like, man, you got the final script like a week ago, and you flew from LA. You haven't had time to read that. Like, but he's got that. I mean, he's acted on 120 titles. So, I mean, I guess he's just, I mean, that's his way. So,
yeah,
he's going to hold us accountable.
And another thing that a lot of people don't realize is that you can have the movie completely done, all the effects in it and everything, but you don't have any of the you don't have the music in yet. You could, and then you add the music in, and you can see the difference. A music can literally be the reason why your movie breaks.
Yes.
As a composer myself, I mean, I'm a composer myself, and I don't let other people do music for our films. I'm a control freak in that respect. And one of the ways that I got into making a name for myself as a filmmaker was to take all these free jobs doing composition, because I love making soundtracks, and it's as I'm filming, I think about music and what's going to be happening.
Absolutely. And music, like I said, music can be a major player in a movie doing well or not, because it really sets the tone. It does. A lot of people don't realize that, but it is a big tone setter for a film. You know, and same thing with dialogue delivery. You could say one line, it's supposed to be a comedy movie. You could say one line and it comes off funny. Say the same exact line in a different tone, and it's like, what?
Yeah.
Dialogue is a big thing as well. Like that's what a lot of people don't understand. There's so much involved with filmmaking that a lot of people don't understand, that can totally screw up whether it's a line in the movie or the movie in general, the overall aspect and atmosphere of it. And a lot of people don't understand that, and it's really something that it's interesting to find out. And I mean, obviously, like Sound was my first movie, and I mean, we made mistakes. I mean, everybody does, especially on their first movie. You learn from them, and you continue on with the next project. You know,
it's like, well, we can't do voiceovers on this. We can't do any ADR, and all we got is the camera audio in this because we didn't have any other crew. So fuck it. Like, I mean, the movie is what it is.
Yep, exactly. Sometimes you rented out that house. There's times that like you might have a film, you're like, that was perfect, and when you go into editing, it's like, oh no, we need to reshoot that. Wait, we don't have that house book now, like, you know. And it's like, what do we now? You have to brainstorm to figure, can we fix this about that?
Yeah.
Well, and the thing about that is with bringing talent from LA, you're like, we got to get this right.
Yes.
Yeah. Now, like, and I've booked these people, and we're paying them for more days than we need them, so that like Andrew Divoff, we should be able to, like, you know, the way we can film things, we should be able to knock his stuff out in maybe a day.
Yeah.
But we've booked him for 3 days because we want to get redundancy. We want to get redundant audio, voiceovers, and things. And make sure it's all clean, so we don't have to bug him at all until and say it's a finished product. Look at this, check it out. You know, same with Kathy Crowell, you know.
Yeah, exactly. So that way you can get all the angles you need, and that way you don't have to risk being like, hey, could we borrow you, use your services again because we need this angle right here for this scene. It's like why didn't you get it when I was already there? I was there for 3 days.
Well, and when you shoot a prorated pickup shot, that ain't cheap either.
Yeah.
I mean, that's more money.
Exactly. Are you going to be using any type of drones or for high level shots or anything?
I have a drone and I like it. However, it's just not, it doesn't match the quality of the cinema cameras.
Right.
And also too, there's that issue with the FAA where you have to have a licensed drone pilot to be able to use that footage. And again, when you start entering into these professional actors in a bigger scene, you have to play it by the book.
Yeah.
And when you're spending, you know, 500 on this, 300 on that, you know, 1,000 on that, 10,000 here, you spend all this chunks of money on stuff to make your movie. Taking time to get your pilot license for your drone is tough.
We do have a crane though that we can use, and that'll help some.
We got a 12-foot crane that'll get us some good establishing shots. And
Awesome.
I may try to go ahead and squeeze in some drone shots and just see if I can use it.
Right.
Because you're allowed to use it for recreational use, but as far as making money off of it is, maybe we might try to hire a drone pilot depending on how much they cost.
Yeah, exactly. And I mean, who knows? Maybe, I mean, I don't know how cheap they are. I've never used a drone before. I'm sure they're not cheap. It's basically, I would assume like you're hiring a private pilot to take you from point A to point B in in an aircraft. I would assume something like that. Maybe.
Not like like to use a drone in a filming sense, you have to have a pilot license for your drone. Like,
right.
You have to understand like that kind of stuff. So,
yeah,
I mean, I would love to go up in a helicopter, like, you know, do like the Lost Boys type shots and stuff. That's an amazing
That
film.
would be awesome.
Those old days where they didn't have drones. I mean, thinking about, you know, running around in a helicopter with a camera.
That would be really cool.
That would actually be really cool to do that.
Yes.
Why don't they do that anymore? That'd be awesome.
Yes.
Right. So what are your overall goals for the film?
Become the scariest movie in recent years. I will never say the scariest movie of all time because I know that's very subjective, but this movie, I think, assuming that it can come out correctly and I can do all the lighting right and everything, it is pretty terrifying. And people that have read the script they do. I mean, even Andrew Divoff was saying, you know, that script is ballsy and it's dark, and it's scary. I mean, and even reading my own words on it, it's really scary. And it's not one of those depraved horror films where you've got just, you know, nudity for the sake of nudity, or, you know, brutality or peeing on somebody, or just, you know, crap, you know. We don't
Rob Zombie's Halloween.
Yeah, we're not doing that kind of, like, it's not scary. It's not shock value scare. It's legit atmosphere.
It's really creepy, scary.
It's atmosphere and thought out shots.
Even like a lot of people say that, and I can see their point on this. Like, I'm not afraid of John Carpenter's Halloween. I'm not afraid of it because I've seen it so many times, but it is a very scary, creepy movie, and not from a jump scare type of scary, or you know, like, it's the psychological thought of this can happen to anybody, where a guy could be watching you, stalking you, and eventually just kill you. Like,
and it's all about your perspective on whether or not you find a movie scary or not. I mean, if you debunk everything and you go in a movie like a little butthole, like, you're not going to be scared of anything in it. I mean, if you naysay on every possibility that, you know, all that can never happen, all this stuff, then it's not going to be frightening to you. But like, for me, Texas Chainsaw Massacre is one of the scariest things, because, you know, it literally could be, especially in today's world where you think about getting stranded, not having gas. I mean, you can really get that kind of way, and I like shooting that kind of style, but also this is a different kind of style where we're going for that kind of insidious look. I mean, I don't know, but it's just really thought out shots and planning everything to where it's and because there's a lot of I will say this: the script works itself in a way. She is the only person in the shot in many times, and we also have an actor playing the Hag. And we have that person basically for unlimited time too, whenever we want. And so having my soon-to-be wife as the lead, and then, you know, our crew basically at our disposal, like, we have unlimited means of making it right on those really scary scenes.
Right. That's awesome. So the last question I got for you is, and you mentioned it a little bit earlier, so I'll let you close out with it as well. So any social media sites or websites for either personal or the Hag Witch that you'd like to promote to our listeners and viewers?
If you're not a fake profile, we will friend you. Like
Yes.
if you send us a friend request, Sam Hodge and
Johnna Vaughn.
yep,
Okay.
and
Awesome.
you'll recognize.
I know I have Sam on my list. I'll send you a friend request as well.
All right,
That
thank
way I
you.
can help promote you guys as much as I possibly
Oh.
can.
Thank you.
In addition to that, we have the Hag Witch movie page.
Mhm.
We have the Hag Witch production group, which is for people who really want those updates. It's a private group, but if you search for it and request an ad, I'll approve it as long as you're not fake.
Right.
And we also have our filmmaking company page, which is actually a legit company.
Yeah.
Cine Savage Films,
Awesome.
like Cinema Savage, but it's Cine Savage Films.
Okay. Awesome. Well, I thank you both for joining me. It's been an honor to learn more about your movie. I was looking forward to this interview because I didn't really know much about the movie other than from what I
Thank you.
researched, and it's good to, kind of hear it from your mouths about what it's about. And I'm really looking forward to this film. So thank you both for sharing it with us and with everybody.
Thank you, Scotty.
Thank you so
be
much.
sure to check out our new teaser coming out tonight at 6:00.
Absolutely. I definitely will. Thank you so much again. You
Thank
both
you.
have a great rest of your night.
You too.
You
All right,
too.
thank you.
Thank you.
Yep. Bye.